What is going on, guys? Paul is back for the next part of this series, and in this part we're going to create the spawner. So the spawner is basically going to handle the spawn, death, and data management for the ants themselves. So it's going to be kind of like a hive in essence. I actually have one already here. It uses a sprite, which I don't have one for the ant yet, but I'll make one later. I mean, you can see I've given it a whole bunch of options like spawn radius, is it active, what behavior tree, what kind of things can you spawn, are you going to spawn hostile? Do you respawn? How quickly? You know, min max. How many can you have at once? What's the total pool? Because I want to only. You got to fight 500 enemies, so I put that here, and then after the 500th one, it'll stop spawning. The total spawn count shouldn't actually be exposed. This was pre 4.8 or whatever it was that you didn't have to do that anymore. 4.6 or whatever. I don't remember. This was done a while ago, so this is still here. I can pick nav data. I can actually have it attack. Character if I have one in the world. I can have him spawn idle. I can have him follow the director. If so, who is the director? If you're going to jump, who's the jump pad? Notice I have this hidden in here, a little jump pad here, which I actually got most of the entire amount of logic from the forums. Look it up, it's on there if you want to know. It's so huge that I cannot really go through it. I did make it myself, however, you know, I just straight copied what he did. There's lots of stuff here, so I'm not going to go through it because I didn't make it. Okay, I really didn't. It's on the forums. It really is. The jump pad. Just look up something. What I did, I changed things myself to be ran off of a main function, so that all the information that he was doing and processing and everything, I basically condensed it all into these three things, like who's the actor, where's he going to land, and how high is he going to go, and then I feed all of his stuff those things instead of the way he originally had it. So that way when I have my spider, which I don't have one in the world, but when I do my spider AI character, there is a jump attack, which basically just gets the jump manager and says launch me, right? Launch me to here. So basically I just get the location of my enemy. I'm going to launch there at 250, right? So jump height here I should change. I should actually also give it a range, but that's how he's jumping. I'm using the other guy's stuff, but like I said, if you know enough about blueprints, you can take that kind of stuff and you can adopt it, because his never did that. Like, it never did any of this. It was an actor that you went into the world that you had to go into a trigger. So he had a trigger stuff, or if I remember correctly, he either had a trigger or he was doing it in a level blueprint or something. I think it was a trigger, and I changed that part to be this, so I could call it from another actor, and it works good. His code works great. His only problem, which he mentioned, was that it was off if the target was below the current position. It would land too far. The math only accounted for equal or above. Once it got below, it broke. So what I did to compensate was, if if I was higher than or whatever, then I pick half the distance. I can't remember where the freaking hell I did that, but if the spider's higher than me and he's going to jump to me, he wants to jump to halfway to me, and that gets him like right in front of me. It actually, the math works out something kind of like that. I know it's not right, but it works, so the hell with it. And I didn't really have to think about it. So what we're going to do is create this thing. So let's just start. We'll make a new blueprint. This will be an actor. Doesn't need to be anything else. And this will be ant spawner BP. Okay, so let's get into the event graph. For the most part, I don't really want either one of those. Hopefully I never bring tick into this. I shouldn't, because we'll use timers. Alright, so what we'll do is spawn AI from class. Now, if you want this spawner to be able to spawn various things, different, ants, spiders, centipedes, or whatever, or soldiers or warriors or whatever you're spawning, you can just promote this to a variable and you can expose it and you can pick that, but just make sure that it kind of matches, so like I could take my spider spawner and use it to spawn the ants, and I was going to do that, but I'm doing this for the sake of the video because I think that having a spawner is an important thing. Okay, spawn AI from class. What was that thingy that said, oh, I think I already did it, didn't I? On the character, where auto-possess placed in world or spawned. I need to make sure that happens on the ant character. Otherwise on my ant spawner, I would have to spawn default controller, but I should not have to do that. So event begin play. Now location is going to be, so we'll get actor location. I don't really want to use the nav mesh to spawn, but I kind of have to. So we're going to get a random point in navigable radius. The origin is going to be myself, the spawner, unless we want to have some actors that we can place out in the world as spawn points, and we have one spawn manager. Or the other way to do that is the spawn manager himself is the spawn point. So however you really want to do that, I don't know how much more efficient it is either way. I think it's actually more efficient to have one spawner and several spawn points. So we're going to make an actor. We're just going to call this ant spawn point BP, and all we'll do is just add a billboard to it. Let's get rid of that scene component thing. We'll make the billboard the root. There we go. Okay, for now, right, I'll do a different icon for it later. This is the spawn point. Okay. So let's go back to the spawnter. The spawnter. First, okay. What we're going to do is, this is going to be ant spawn point. May or may not. Yeah, see, I don't think what I want to do is that. I think what I want to do is this. I think I want to promote this, and I think what I want to do is I want to call this spawn point list. I don't think I really ever need to do that. Okay, now we determine how we're going to do this through the spawn points. Now, some games, they'll just randomly pick one every time, right? Others will go, okay, this one, then 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 this one, this one. It'll cycle through them all. Now, the question is which one do we want, or do we want both? An option for both. Turn that off and on. Random point or spawn in sequence. Well, you know, it's hard to say. The other thing is, we may want to register certain spawn points as off or on during gameplay. For instance, what if round 1 spawns ants from here, round 2 spawns ants from here and here, 3 from here, here, and here, and then round 4 from here, here, and here. So as the rounds progress, we start introducing more spawn points. So we may want to do that for the gameplay, right? And we don't necessarily want to do too much in the level blueprint, right? Level blueprint should be reserved, in my opinion. This is just my opinion. I don't believe that any of your actual gameplay specific code should be in the level blueprint. I don't feel it that way. I think all that kind of stuff should be contained in actors or in databases or whatever. Never on the level blueprint, because it just can't be used anywhere else ever again. You got to be copy and pasted. It's a nightmare. Stay on a level blueprint if you can. It's just my personal preference at this stage of my development learning process, whatever you want to call it. Right now I feel like I hate the level blueprint. I want to stay away from it. So let's see. However, let's go ahead and close a few things down real quick. Don't really need too much right now open. Certainly don't need all these things. I think the behavior of the ant's actually pretty good right now. Not bad. Okay, ant spawner. Okay, so on begin play we have a spawn list, and we need to make a custom event to actually do the spawn. So add custom event, spawn next ant. Okay, this will actually do the spawning. Spawn radius. We don't need any of this other stuff. That's an exposed one. Nav data. We could promote that. That does exist. We can get it. I don't know how it helps, if it makes it more efficient or less efficient, because you can do, you know, the recast filter or whatever. I don't really know. Spawn AI from class is interesting. I mean, no, not that. I mean, the rotation is interesting. I don't exactly know what to do there. Should I have it facing its target? Does it have a target when it spawns? We're going to need to make sure that it does, actually, in this case. We want to make sure that the ants spawn towards the cheese. You know, if there is no cheese in the map, they'll just fail that and go into wander. But these AI are specific to that game mode, and I make sure that I don't, you know, put those ants in a world without the cheese. So, because they're not supposed to just be random critters that can do random different bunch of things. They're specifically going after the food and taking off with it. That's the whole point of why I'm making these. So that's why this is different than my spider. I need to give them a different kind of target. So that's fine for now, I think. I don't actually need to cast, but I can tell it. Let's actually keep this one open at least, right? Because I can report, or I can set an enemy target here, you know, right after it spawns. So I can say set are you kidding me? Didn't say it's already one. Why isn't it already one? Maybe because I never compiled it? I don't know. Whatever. Set enemy targets. Okay, now the enemy target would be like some cheese or something. A piece of cheese. So whether or not I want to get a random piece of cheese, I could fairly quickly here on begin play. This is begin play, so it's okay to do a lot of stuff like this. Personally, I believe that begin play is where you should want to do most of your shit if you can get away with it, because it happens before anybody really expects the game to be performing well. In my opinion, I always expect every game I ever play to be freaking glitchy for about the first 5 to 10 seconds of me trying to look around. They all do it. It's done it on every computer I've ever had, and now I actually have a good computer. Okay, so we're gonna get all actors of the cheese. CTC cheese. That was a cheese block. What the fuck are they called? Cheese block. Oh, picnic object. Derp. We'll promote this to a variable. We'll call this target list. Food target list. Okay. I'm going to get a Boolean variable here because I want to say spawn hungry. I mean, I guess that's a stupid way of putting it. Like, you know, do I want him to spawn and go for the food right in the beginning or not? I want that to be an option. Because maybe some ants I want to actually be roaming around randomly before you get to a location, so that I can still spawn them around and have them do some stuff, but once I get there, then I can swap to a spawner that spawns them all hungry where they're actually going for the food. Right? I have that option if I want it, so I need it. Let's I'll just keep it that, I guess. So we'll test. Basically here we need to test, because that's the thing, if we don't spawn hungry, I'm not going to give him a target in the beginning. But if he is, the target is going to be something off of this list. Ah, shit. What's it looking for? Oh wait, that's enemy target. I want to set food target. What did I do for that? That's enemy target. Oh, choose food is that. Shit. Do I never tell the ant what the food piece is? Where do I get the food piece from? Pick up food. That's picking it up. It's the choose food, right? That's where I gotta go to. So we end up with the target key. We have a picnic object list in the game state already that I forgot about. I'm trying to think how I'm going to pass this info. Okay, I think the best way to do this would be the same way we did the enemy target through the AI controller. So what I'll do here is I'll just dupe this and we'll call this set food target. And we'll call this whatever the hell I called it here, target actor. Yeah, target actor. Okay, and we'll get this, but this will be an actor reference, right? Object reference, actor reference. Okay, compile that. So we should be able to say set food target, or whatever I called that. Set food target. Did I compile? Oh, hang on. I gotta get the controller. Let's do this. Hang on. Let's do it the way I did it here. We'll do it. It did that weird thing to me again. So you set food target here. Controller reference is now going to be actor. Okay, and just going to relay that across. Okay, that should be good. So we get a random integer in range between 0 and the length of the array. Okay, if the length is 5, actually this is incorrect. The length minus 1, because the length doesn't count. Like if there's 4 entries, the length is 4, but the last entry is 3. We need that to be here. Okay, otherwise we'll get an out of range eventually error. And then we'll come here and we'll go compile, save, boom, spawn hungry. If not, I don't really care to give him a food target. Right? Okay. I'm just gonna come in here and bust this open with a sequence. I used to like when I could just type like SEQ, and now how far do I have to type, you know, the whole damn word. That's okay. I'm not a whiner. Or am I? Okay, so what I want to do, I want to set timer by function name. Okay. We're going to immediately, well, hang on, let's figure out the function name first. It's going to be spawn next ant, so we'll copy and paste that. It's always the safest. Okay. Now we're going to do a random float in range. And we're going to promote that to respawn min. Spawn time min. Spawn time max. Which will not actually be looping. The reason is because our spawner is going to keep track of how many we've spawned and is not going to allow for too many to spawn. I'm actually working backwards by getting the spawning done, and then I'm going to go back and I'm going to set the next rule, then the next rule, then the next rule on top of them as I go. And that's, I think it's fairly easy to do it this way. It just makes sense, right? So I need to call this and some time between min and max, right? So let's just compile. We'll set a couple of defaults here. Min will be 1 and the max will be 3 for now. I think that's fair. Okay. And what we'll do is this. We're going to promote this. And this is going to be called spawn next ant underscore timer. And here's the kicker. Right before we call this, we're going to clear it. So this gets rebooted. Okay, so it'll clear, then it'll do it. So then what we're going to do is we're going to make a custom event here called start timer. And that's all that's going to do. Okay. The first time through, this is going to completely fail. Okay. I could put an is valid check on it, but I ain't going to do it. I don't care if it fails. I really don't. So I think what I want to do is start the timer. Now sometimes what you want to do is bypass the timer on the very first one, because here's what's going to happen. If I set the spawn time to be min max of say 5 and 10 seconds, or say 5 and 5, so it's always the same, it won't spawn for 5 seconds. It's not like it's going to spawn one right now and then wait 5 seconds. It will wait 5 seconds first. So it's going to do the wait first. That's how timers work. They wait first, then they run, then they'll loop if you tell them to, but they never will play immediately. If you need them to, you need to call whatever you're going to do like right in between there, okay? Just keep that in mind, because it does actually, there are times when you want to make sure that right when it comes in it does spawn. But in this case, you know, a fairly okay spawn delay here will give me some time to let other things process, hopefully. So that should actually be enough to spawn one ant. I would say. That should spawn an ant. Which means I should be able to delete my ant. And I should be able to bring on my ant spawner, which is just this right now. And somewhere in the world, hopefully, when we stimulate here, yeah, and there he is. And notice he's immediately moving around, which they didn't do before. That is due to that very handy thing when you click on self, auto possess, placed in world or spawned. Very, very handy. It only saves one node, but I don't know why I'm shitting my pants over it. It's just that I can't tell you how many goddamn times I thought my fucking spawners were broken, and I went down the rabbit hole of 5,000 other blueprints trying to find what was wrong with it. Turns out that I never gave it a default controller. I would strip my AI controllers and my behavior trees down to their roots and start deleting things. Oh, let's get rid of this and see if it works. Let's get rid of this and see if it works. You know, just constantly going through that for hours on end, trying to figure out what the hell's wrong, not knowing that I had to spawn a default controller, right? Right? That's why I'm shitting my pants over them adding that, because it's, thank God. Alright, so we got the one spawned. Alright, now here's what's going to happen. The timer's a good way. It could also, we could have done a delay here and then called the function, but I like doing it this way. I think it's neat and tidy, I would say. So after we spawn, okay, before we start the timer, we need a check. So again, rule upon rule upon rule here. We're now going to test how many we have. What I'll change is this. This will get moved. I'm going to do another custom event. I'm going to do check spawn count. Okay. And what we will do is we now need some variables. Current spawn count will be an integer. These are all going to be ints. This will be spawn, let's see, current spawn count, concurrent spawn max. This will be total spawn pool, and I think I may not need one more, so I'll just be like, maybe I need that later. Alright, so current spawn count should, let's go ahead and compile, start at 0 and should not be exposed. Concurrent spawn max should be exposed, and so should the spawn pool. Okay, and in this case the concurrent spawn max will be we'll say just default to like 10 at a time. Okay, and the total spawn pool is the max number that can ever be spawned. Now for this I'm going to stick -1 in there to indicate infinite. Okay, so here's what we do. Is the current spawn count less than the concurrent spawn max? If so, I now talk like a British computer. If true, start timer. If not, don't do shite. So that should work, I think. Oh, well, hang on. Before we start now the timer will run all through this, and at some point we have to increment this current spawn count. Now we could do it right here, but we're technically jumping the gun here because we haven't spawned yet. right? But we did say we can, so we've already opened up the rule to say we can. So jumping it up here technically should be okay. So we'll do that. We'll take the current spawn count and we'll say increment. Increment is a happy way of saying +1. Add 1 to the specified value, then set it. So it just, you know, +1, then set, right, to save you a spot. And that should be it. So we should get 10 between the respawn min and max. So between 1 and 3 seconds, we're still getting a random radius in the spawn radius, which is actually set to very low. Let's say 1500. Let's go ahead and shut off the spider spawner. Here's our ant spawner. Let's simulate. Where are you, my little babies? Are you coming? I don't think I said it right. I don't think I did it right. I don't think I called this yet. I don't think on begin play I check spawn count. Knew I forgot something. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Nothing yet, right? Up. Don't speak too soon. Any more use? Any more utes coming? I only got 1. Or was he already in the world? Do I have any ants in the world? No. Where are my ant spawn points? Oh, hang on. That's ant spawner here. So let's set that. I'll do this here. Let's set that to like 50. I didn't expose min and max yet. Because remember, they're spawning around the spawn points, not around the actor, I think. I feel like I'm only getting 1. Oh, I know why, because I'm an asshole. This is kind of why I wanted to do the increment later. Because after the successful spawn and or there's no actual success or fail here, I guess. Basically what I want to do is I want to increment this after here. So the truth is I kind of want to sequence this. So what I think I'm going to do is actually stick this in right after the official spawn of the actor class. Actually, I'm not doing that correctly. Get a sequence in there. Okay. Then essentially, you just want to check the spawn count. Now the way this is going to work right now is it'll spawn up to 10 and it'll never spawn again. I believe. There's 1. There's 2. 3. 4. Notice I think it waited until the other one could spawn. They're kind of getting all clustered right now. I find it interesting that they're all trying to spawn from the same spot. Oh. Well, yeah, because I never I never did that correctly. Hang on. Oh, I'm setting a random food target. Okay, I need to do the same thing here for this spot. So, what we do is we get the spawn point list. And we might as well just copy all this shit. What is it? There it is. Okay. So, spawn point list minus length. We get it. And we plug that in. Now it'll pick one randomly. Assuming that's what we want. No one from that spawn point. One from over there. That's working fine. Got 4 total, 5 now. 6. I think one spawned out there. Remember, they spawn within a radius of that spot, so it's not exactly that spot. There's 10. There's 10 right there. And they should go get the food, and they should each one bring back to their own new spawn point, right? So he spawned over here, so he's bringing it back over there. So it's working pretty good when they come from different areas, I'd say. Cool beans. Alright. The cool factor of them moving around and picking up the cheese and picking it up and putting it down, I don't know about anybody else, but it's completely worn off on me. I no longer feel like it's like cute. Like, oh, look at them go. Nah, yeah, that's what they're supposed to do, dude. They're doing their job, man. Let them be. So, now, here's what we got to do. We need to keep track of the trackers. Okay? I'll let you guys figure that one out. Go. You done? Alright, let's see. So we do check the spawn count. Okay, now here's another thing. On spawn, we're going to have to do quite a few more things on spawn, by the way. At least one. That being that immediately after we set this food target, we need the ant character going to have a variable, and that's going to be called mama. It's going to be type ant spawner. Okay, because what's going to happen is here, when we say cause death, somewhere around here, we're going to tell mama that we died, so that mama can say current spawn count is lower now, decremented, right, and makes free a new baby, right? I am your mama, and you are my babies. So, what we'll do is we'll go into the realm of the distasteful for once, shall we? Let's start talking about killing babies. So, in the spider, I believe I called this report child death, which was like the most PC thing I could possibly think of. But in this one, now I'm not going to be crude. Okay, I'm just going to call it that. Okay, I'm not going to be crude. No offense to anybody that, you know, if tragedies and all that shit, right? I won't make a joke out of something like this, but it's kind of what it happens, right? It goes into the weird and distasteful. These are technically her baby, you know, this thing's babies. It's not a her, but I'm kind of considering it that because something needs to keep track of it, and let me give it a personality for fuck's sake. All right, so here we go. Child death will be basically just going to decrement that. I mean, I don't really need to do much. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll go to the ant character and cause death will go from mama to child death. Could call it spawn death, but what kind of a heartless person calls their babies their spawn? Alright, so that should decrement it back down. So when I kill one, I should be able to get a new one to spawn. However, not quite yet. We need to do one more thing on child death. After we do that, we need to go ahead and immediately check the spawn count, which should be free to go. So that is actually a triggered event. Now, triggered by the baby when the baby dies. So let's go ahead and give it a play. And this time, we'll kill one of them after we get them all spawned. So hang on, let me do this real quick. Let's go ahead and expose these. That. Spawn hungry should be checked to true right now, just as the default. And I believe, yeah, that way I can set the food target. Oh, you know what? Here's the thing. I wasn't going to set the mama target if I did not set the food target. That's not good. Also, well, you know what? If this fails, none of this should work anyway, so. But yeah, if I don't spawn hungry, I still want to tell this, right? So it's important. Good thing I caught that. I don't even know how I just happenstance to cross it. That's cool. Where am I at now? Oh yeah, I exposed these because I want this to be a shit ton faster. Alright, they should all spawn real quick. 3. How many do I got? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I only got 9. I only got 9. Okay. Oh, I just feel like a dickwad doing this. I can't tell if another one spawned. I'm losing track of them, but I only got 9 in the beginning. Yeah. Well, the current spawn count should be 0. The concurrent max spawn max should be 10. So the first time through, we start the timer. In a few seconds here we do this, which goes all the way down here and then runs that again. So let me do this on my fingers. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If anything, I should get 11. Why am I getting freaking -1? Let me look at something here real quick. So this is kind of weird. Like, I clicked on where you go to spawn, I clicked this no collision fail, because part of the reason why I'm not getting 10 is because a spawn point will be taken. But what's weird is when I have that on, I'm getting this really strange, look, he's under, and he pops up. See? They're all spawning underneath. What's that all about? That doesn't seem to happen when this is off. When he fails to spawn, this comes out as a fail. So this can get me to try it again. So they shouldn't interrupt each other, and I should get 10 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Now there is possibly a bug. When I kill one after all the cheese is gone. That's why I'm waiting. Come on. Alright. I noticed something funny on one of the next one that spawned was spazzing out. So this one should spawn. I think it's him, but I'm not sure. It's him. See? So if I eject, who am I looking right at? You, buddy. Number 191, report for duty. Well, what controller is that? Controller 182. Okay, so it looks like it changes it to whichever one I have selected, so that's cool. Where's my frame skip? I wish it was here. We need it here, frame skip. So what is he in? Check melee range. Enemy is set. See, what I think happened was see, when he runs, oh, here's what happens. Here's what happens. Here, when I set the food target, right? Well, what if there's no food left? And that's exactly what happened. So we need to probably do this is gonna get kind of gross, kind of fast. See how it deleted them both? Remember I said that in the other video, it was doing that shit, you guys all called me liar? No, you guys didn't do that, you guys are cool. Nobody called me a liar, I called myself a liar. But I wasn't lying, right? I tried to just break one, there was two connected to it, I only pricked this one and it did them both, so not my fault. I never know when to expect what. But sometimes I try to act like I know what's going to happen, because I have seen it before, but then it tricks me. Okay, so I think basically I can just do an is Vlad check on this, right? If not, make sure we run to mama so that our blood doesn't get in the way of anything. That should be alright. That should stop him from bugging out. Bugging out. Unfortunately, I gotta wait for him to grab all the cheese again. I may, oh, by the way, I'm having him print every time one's supposed to do the spawn, and I should see, they're all getting all mad at each other. Wouldn't it be funny if I went to the length of like actually having them scream that really loud? What the fuck? Someone took my shit! You just hear it echoing everywhere. Okay, just like imagine an ant colony. Somebody should make a movie about an ant colony that doesn't cooperate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. All right, it's time to possess. Get possessed by the devil and take some fools out. Oh, by the way, there is another bug that I have to fix. Can anybody see one spawn? There he goes. He spawned right away. How many do I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, hang on. How many do I got alive? 1, 2, 3. 4. Just one of those is alive. 5, 6, 7, 8. Did I count these guys? I guess I should select them all. Control Shift A. I have 12. Are 2 of them dead? I have 10 actors selected, so sweet, it's working. Every time I kill one, so I'll kill a few more here. Did my mouse die? No. Oh, I gotta resume. Then I can go my little spree here. Actually, I can cheat. If I keep hitting him, he'll never be able to turn towards me. See that? See how he can never turn towards me? Because I'm getting him to play that fucking animation over and over again. So that is a definite need fix. Oh, but there's the other problem. Right here, I can't go through that. So when he dies, we need to get rid of his collision. Also, we need to set the lifetime. So when you cause death, actually it should be after, I believe, we do this. We take that and we're going to set collision enabled to no collision. That would be handy to get us to not knock into dude anymore. Also, I think I know how to get it so they can turn towards me. I think I might have a good idea. I think it's in the anim blueprint. I think it's in the hit walk montage. Hit walk. Okay. This is why he cannot turn while I'm shooting him over and over again, because this is causing him to move forward when the animation plays. It doesn't matter what the frickin' AI is trying to make him do, and it's bringing his capsule with it, so the AI is not officially breaking, which is actually really, really cool. Really cool, if you can think how deep that can go. Let's see what to do though. I mean, I just got to redo this animation without the root motion, right? Where he gets hit. So I don't think I ever did one, did I? Hit walk. See, yeah, because I didn't actually name this one hit walk RM. I'm just gonna go ahead and assume it's okay to do the regular movement, I think, in root motion. But in this case, when he does a move with root motion, he loses control as AI completely. He can't do anything because the animation's playing, no matter what he tries to do. That's interesting. It's something we've got to take into account with root motion for AI. So, alright, yeah, let me think real quick. I'm gonna try to get the animation in to fix that. But other than that, I think everything's okay. I think the spawner's working fine. It doesn't have everything I want yet, but it's got a lot of good stuff, I think. So far it actually has almost everything I need. However, right now we're doing this, and like I said, I may want the other style where I can cycle or choose my spawn points, or maybe set them to be hot spots or something like that. Like there's going to be more from this point than another or something, you know. Maybe give the players an indication of all of that stuff. I'm kind of thinking slightly tower defense here, but minus the ability to make any towers, because Rats isn't supposed to be a tower defense game. But if I made it one, it would be kind of cool. I just wouldn't want to really, I don't know, I never thought about taking it into that genre, you know. But there's actually a lot of pretty cool scenarios in Rats that could work fairly well for a first-person tower defense game. If I were to do it, it would just be a mode in another game, in my opinion. I don't think it's enough to make a whole game out of. I think the tower defense games that are out there, some of them are actually really good, and I think even the really, really good ones don't do that well. Depending on what you consider tower defense. I don't really know what to... I consider the traditional tower defense enemies coming in a straight line, not battling other players at all. You're battling a line of AI coming, you know? I've played tower defense where one team can send enemies at the other team, and that's... I don't know what that's called. Battle defense? I don't know. Whatever you call that. And those are cool. Those are cool. But this wouldn't be like that, you know. But it does make for some interesting gameplay ideas. But yeah, I think I'm gonna end the video. Like I said, I'll fix it. He'll be able to turn towards me once I get rid of the root motion on that animation. He'll still be able to move. Yeah, he should still be able to go towards me. So this is Pt16 signing off. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.